Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. And we were discussing about trigonometric functions for class 11th maths NCERT. Let's continue with the discussion. Today we'll discuss trigonometric ratios of allied angles. Now, we know that your plane is divided into four quadrants, first, second, third and fourth. We represent them by Roman numbers. In the first quadrant here, the x value changes from 0 degree or 0 radian to pi by 2. In the second quadrant from pi by 2 to pi, third quadrant pi to 3 pi by 2, fourth quadrant 3 pi by 2 to 2 pi. Now, the first quadrant can be represented as pi by 2 minus theta and or 2 pi by 2, 2 pi plus theta. Second quadrant can be represented as pi by 2 plus theta or pi minus theta. Is subtracting something from pi. This is what we say where theta value has to be strictly between 0 to 2 pi by 2 for this notation to work. Third quadrant, angle is beyond pi. This is pi plus theta, or it is smaller than 3 pi by 2. So 3 pi by 2 minus theta. Here, fourth quadrant, 3 pi by 2 plus theta, or 2 pi minus theta. So what happens to different trigonometric ratios for these values? Let's consider the first value, pi by 2 minus theta. Let's start from here. Pi by 2 minus theta. Pi by 2 plus theta. Pi minus theta. Pi plus theta. 3 pi by 2 minus theta. What happens to sine of such a value? Whatever value you're considering, let these values be x and be alpha. What happens for sine alpha? Where alpha for the first case is pi by 2 minus theta. What happens to sine pi by 2 minus theta? Sine pi by 2 minus theta means sine gets converted into cos. In the first quadrant, sine value is positive. So it becomes cos theta. How did we come to this conclusion? Whenever you have any multiples of pi by 2 or multiples of pi by 2, that is 2n plus 1 into pi by 2, for all multiples of pi by 2, your sine value gets converted into cos, your cos value gets converted into sine. Your sec gets converted into cosec, your cosec gets converted into sec, tan gets converted into cot, and cot gets converted into tan. Apart from this, sine. Apart from this, for 2n plus 1 into pi by 2, the sign convention is it depends on quadrant. Quadrant, and trigonometric ratio. In the last class, we discussed which trigonometric ratios are positive in which quadrants. So this sine value got converted into cos. We'll observe the sign of the value that you're converting, not the one that is converted. Sine got converted into cos. We know that both of them are positive in the first quadrant. So let's consider the second quadrant. This is in the first quadrant, this is in the second quadrant, and third quadrant, and so forth. Sine pi by 2 plus theta, which is in the second quadrant, sine will be converted into cos. We'll get cos. Then, being in the second quadrant, sine is positive. Hence, you'll have a positive value, cos theta. Second quadrant itself, sine pi minus theta. Now, what happens if you have pi? If your angle is pi plus something, or your angle is 2 pi plus something, or 3 pi plus something. In short, if you have n pi value, n pi plus something, then if you see this n pi, you'll have to, the trigonometric functions remain same. Trigonometric function or ratio remain same. Again, sine depends on ratio, trigonometric ratio, and quadrant. Now, using this information, sine pi minus theta, it's pi written over here, so sine will remain as it is. And since it is the second quadrant, sine is positive. Sine pi plus theta. Pi plus theta means in this quadrant, sine will remain as it is, sine. But in the third quadrant, sine is negative. So you'll have to add a negative sign. This is also the third quadrant. So in the third quadrant, sine is negative. Sine is negative. Sine will get converted into cos because it is 2n plus 1 pi by 2. So it is minus cos theta. Here you're finding equivalent trigonometric ratio values in different quadrants, provided you have something called the angles are represented in allied angles form. Let's write stuff in terms of quadrants, or better yet, in terms of one allied angles each. For pi by 2 minus theta, it is in the first quadrant. The angle is in the first quadrant, represented in the form pi by 2 minus theta. Here, sine pi by 2 minus theta will be equal to, sine will get converted into cos. First quadrant all is positive, so it is cos theta. Cos pi by 2 minus theta will be equal to, cos will get converted into sine. First quadrant all positive. Tan pi by 2 minus theta will be equal to cot theta. Cot pi by 2 minus theta will be equal to tan theta. Sec pi by 2 minus theta is equals to cosec theta. Cosec pi by 2 minus theta is equals to sec theta. Next, second, let's consider the second quadrant. Pi by 2 plus theta, which is in the second quadrant. So sine pi by 2 plus theta. The value of this will be, since it is pi by 2, sine will get converted into cos theta, and in the second quadrant sine is positive. Cos pi by 2 plus theta. Cos will get converted into sine, but in the second quadrant cos is positive, hence this is cos is negative, hence this is negative, minus sine theta. Tan pi by 2 plus theta. Tan is negative in the second quadrant, and tan will get converted into cot. Cot pi by 2 plus theta. Cot will get converted into tan, and the sign is negative. Cot is negative in the second quadrant. Sec pi by 2 plus theta. Sec will get converted into cosec, and sign is negative. Cosec is positive in the second quadrant. So this value will be equal to positive. Cosec will get converted into sec theta. Next, pi minus theta. Now this is also second quadrant. Sine pi minus theta. Sine remains as it is, and second quadrant sine is positive. Cos pi minus theta. This is second quadrant, cos is negative, and cos remains as it is. Tan pi minus theta. Tan remains as it is, second quadrant it is negative. Cot pi minus theta, it's negative, cot theta. Sec pi minus theta minus sec theta. Cosec is positive in the second quadrant, so cosec pi minus theta is equals to positive cosec theta. Next, pi plus theta. This would be in the third quadrant. Sine pi plus theta is equals to, sine remains as it is, sine remains as it is, and in the third quadrant sine is negative, so this is minus sine theta. Cos pi plus theta, again negative, and cos theta. Tan pi plus theta. Tan is positive in the third quadrant, so plus, tan remains as it is. Cot, same, pi plus theta is equals to plus cos cot theta. Sec pi plus theta will be equal to, sec is negative, so negative sec theta. Cosec pi plus theta is equals to minus cosec theta. Next, 3 pi by 2 minus theta, third quadrant. Sine 3 pi by 2 minus theta will be equal to, 3 pi by 2 means sine gets converted into cos, and this is third quadrant, it's negative. Cos 3 pi by 2 minus theta will be equal to minus sine theta. Tan 3 pi by 2 minus theta is equals to tan is positive. So no need to write positive. Tan is positive and tan gets converted into cot. Cot 3 pi by 2 minus theta is equals to tan theta. Sec 3 pi by 2 minus theta is equals to minus cosec theta. Cosec 3 pi by 2 minus theta is equals to minus sec theta. Three pi by 2 plus theta. This will be in the fourth quadrant. The fourth quadrant, sine 3 pi by 2 plus theta will be equal to, sine is negative and sine gets converted into positive cos, so minus cos theta. Cos 3 pi by 2 plus theta is equals to, cos will remain as it is, positive. This is sine theta. Tan 3 pi by 2 plus theta is equals to, tan value gets converted into cot. Tan is negative in the fourth quadrant, so it is minus cot theta. Cot 3 pi by 2 plus theta is equals to minus tan theta. Sec 3 pi by 2 plus theta is equals to, sec is positive and sec will get converted into cosec. Cosec 3 pi by 2 plus theta is equals to minus sec theta. The fourth quadrant can also be represented as 2 pi minus theta. So sine 2 pi minus theta is equals to, this is in the fourth quadrant, sine is negative, minus sine remains as it is, sine theta. Cos 2 pi minus theta is equals to, cos is positive, so positive cos theta. Tan 2 pi minus theta is equals to negative tan theta. Cot 2 pi minus theta minus cot theta. Sec 2 pi minus theta, sec is positive, hence it is positive sec theta. Cosec 2 pi minus theta is equals to minus cosec theta. First quadrant can also be represented as 2 pi plus theta. 2 pi plus theta. So this was third quadrant. This is, this was fourth quadrant and this is back to first quadrant. Sine 2 pi minus theta is equals to, first quadrant, all is 2 pi plus theta. First quadrant, all is positive and 2 pi remains as it is, so this is sine theta. Cos 2 pi plus theta is equals to cos theta. Tan 2 pi plus theta is equals to tan theta. Cot 2 pi plus theta is equals to cot theta. Sec 2 pi plus theta equals to sec theta. Cosec 2pi plus theta is equals to cosec theta. If you can observe, the value, the fact that we placed 2pi had no use. That means even if we these values are same, you write 2pi or you do not write 2pi, it's one and the same. There is a general form to represent this. Sine or any trigonometric function of n times 2pi plus theta will be equal to sine theta itself. That is, sine of 2n pi plus theta will be equal to sine theta. Similarly, for all trigonometric functions, cos 2n pi plus theta is equals to cos theta. Tan 2n pi plus theta is equals to tan theta. Cot 2n pi plus theta is equals to cot theta. Sec 2n pi plus theta is equals to sec theta. Cosec 2n pi plus theta is equals to cosec theta. Where n is compulsorily an integer, z. N can also be negative. Even if you write minus 2 pi plus theta, you'll still get the same angle theta. It gets reduced, it always gets reduced to theta. So we'll stop here. We'll continue in the next class. Thank you.